هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله.
Let's begin. Another great woman was Maryam, the mother of Jesus alayhi salam. Allah mentions her in the Quran. Says Allah in the interpretation of the meaning, and remember she who guarded her chastity. We breathed into her of our spirit, and we made her and her son a sign for all peoples. Maryam was a woman who stood behind not just one great man, but she stood behind two. She was dedicated to Allah by her mother before she was even born. And Allah mentions this too in the interpretation of the meaning. Behold, a woman of Imran said, O my Lord, I do dedicate unto thee what is in my womb for thy special service. So accept this of me, for thou hearest and knowest all things. And when the woman had delivered her child, she said, O my Lord, behold, I have delivered a female child. And Allah knew best what she brought forth. I have named her Mary, and I commend her and her offspring to thy protection from the evil one rejected. So thus Maryam alayhi salam was dedicated to the service of Allah even before she was born. And when she had grown older, Maryam was entrusted to the care of a man known as Zakariyyah, who was the husband of her sister, and he was a prophet of Allah. Zakariyyah built a room for Maryam in the temple and taught her to worship Allah in His oneness. He witnessed many miracles of Maryam. Sometimes when he would come to visit her, he would find her with food. And Allah mentions this too in the interpretation of the meaning. Right graciously did her Lord accept her. He made her grow in purity and beauty. To the care of Zakariyyah she was assigned. Every time that he entered her room to see her, he found her supplied with food. And he said, O Mary, where comes this to you? And she answered, from Allah, for Allah provides food to whom He pleases without measure. The miracles that occurred with Maryam helped to reaffirm the faith in Zakariyyah. And he prayed to Allah to bestow upon him the one thing he wanted the most, which was a son of his own to carry on his teachings. Allah answered his dua by giving him tidings of Yahya. Later in life, Maryam herself gave birth to a son by miracle of Allah. And that son grew up to be one of the greatest and most famous men of all times, Jesus alayhi salam. Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, relate to them the story of Maryam in the book when she withdrew from her family to a place in the east. She chose to be secluded from them. We sent to her our angel, and he appeared before her as a grown-up man. She said, I seek Allah's protection against you. Leave me alone if you are God-fearing. And he answered, don't be afraid. I am merely a messenger sent from your Lord to tell you about the gift of a holy son. She said, how shall I bear a son when no man has ever touched me? The angel replied, "So shall it be. Your Lord says it is easy for me. We wish to make him, your son, a sign for mankind and a blessing from us." So thus she conceived the child, and she retired with him to a remote place. The pains of childbirth drove her to the trunk of a palm tree, and she cried out in pain, "Would that I had died before this and had been forgotten." An angel from beneath the tree comforted her, saying, "Do not grieve. Your Lord has provided a brook at your feet. If you shake the trunk of the tree, it will drop fresh ripe dates in your lap. So eat, drink, and refresh yourself. And if you see anyone, tell them, I have vowed a fast to Allah so that I will not speak to anyone today." Thus carrying the baby, Maryam came back to her people. They said, "O Maryam, you have brought something hard to believe. O sister of Harun, your father was a good man, and your mother was a chaste woman. What have you done?" In response, she merely pointed towards the baby. They said, "How can we talk to a baby in the cradle?" Then the baby spoke out. He said, "I am indeed a servant of Allah. He has given me the book and made me a prophet. His blessing is with me wherever I go. He has commanded me to establish the prayer and to give in charity as long as I shall live. He has exhorted me to honor my mother and has not made me domineering or hard to deal with. Peace be upon me the day I was born, the day I shall die, and the day I shall be raised to life again." Such was Jesus, alayhi salam, the son of Maryam, and this is the true statement about him concerning which they are in doubt. So thus, as we can see, Maryam was a woman who played a role in the lives of two great men, both of them who were prophets. She had the devotion and purity of soul needed to inspire Zakariyyah, and she had the wisdom and faith needed to inspire her son Jesus, alayhi salam. Says Allah in the interpretation of the meaning, Allah did choose Adam and Noah, the family of Abraham and the family of Imran above all people. And of the family of Imran, there was one whose greatness of faith earned the title of perfection and example. Says Allah in the interpretation of the meaning, an example for the believers is Maryam, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity. Thus, these are the stories of Asiya and Maryam, two great women who attained perfection of faith and who became examples for all believers, men and women alike.
يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا